And I'll be honest, I didn't quite know what I was going to do tonight when it came to video. So, a lot off the cuff. I came down here for about 20 minutes and I looked around my movie library and I thought, what could I go into without actually having to go into a specific company or going into just one genre? How could I make this as broad? Hey, Tummy Films. Hey to you, and if you see your friend from Base Your Video, say hi to me say hi for me as well. You got the Cowboy Blues? Hey, Kenneth, what's up? So I figured I'd talk about some of my musts that I think are must-haves. She might be watching. Awesome. Hopefully she liked it. So lately, oh God, why are you watching A Wrinkle in Time? Just read the book. It's much, much better. And that being said, A Wrinkle in Time is a book that really catches you as a child. Not so much when you get older. Sadly, it's not one of those like Lord of the Rings or even like just the Narnia books. It doesn't always like grab you as you. It doesn't age well. So what I wanted to do tonight, I want to talk about some must-haves. Recently, as you guys know, after my trip to Ontario, I've been watching a lot of Italian films. A lot of Italian films. And I want to do like a series of videos on like on the Italian film genre. That just got helped out tremendously if you saw my last video with the Severin package. I was anticipating the Severin package coming. So when I got to Ontario and I walked into the door, Base Your Video, and I took this look around. Hey, Andy, how's it going? And I saw all of these Severins. And yeah, it counts as Italian. It does kind of count as an Italian film. Though not my favorite mafia film. I'm going to be honest, I do like a lot of the Plizziotti type films, and I like that style of stuff. So I like a lot of the actual Italian like crime films that were done, like the Enzio Castellari things, and the DeLeo films. Hey, Boredom Strikes, welcome, man. Tonight we are talking about, I'm not quite sure, but we're going to be doing, hey Jesse, we're going to be doing like a bit on some films that I think that everybody should have in their collection. So everything that I'm going to show you tonight, and trust me, I'm going to be grabbing other things as well. This is like one of those rides you get on in a carnival, and you go in to this like this dark area, and it twists and it turns, and you're not quite sure where it's going, but you kind of know you want to be there because you want to see what's going to be around that next turn. And that's the movie club. That's how I like to describe all of us here. Hopefully you guys like that. So I wanted to start with an Italian film because it's one that I'm not going to lie, if you have not yet picked this up, then why? Because this is a release to grab. Now, this is a Mondo Macabro film. I'm a huge fan of Mondo Macabro. When I was into my now favorite video store, I actually picked up Who Could Kill a Child like 8 or 9 times at least. And I almost bought it each time. And every time I regretted not buying it. But there's always something that said, okay, I was going to take a chance on this. I knew this film. But I always know that Mondo Macabro does really good releases whenever they put anything out. So I can always recommend the Mondo Macabro releases. But I wanted to like go in and just grab one. To pick one Mondo Macabro release that I think everybody should have. And if any of you guys collect any Mondo Macabro, what would be cool to do is before I show you the release, what would you think is the Mondo Macabro to grab? Don't all speak at once. I know, it's hard. You're all like rushing to your keyboards to make sure you can actually get that Mondo Macabre release out there on the screen before Jesse, exactly. What a lizard in a woman's skin. Jesse reversed it, but it's okay. It's an easy one to reverse because these titles are, Italian giallo titles are pretty weird. Lucio Fulci's Lizard in a Woman's Skin is not just one of the best Mondo Macabre releases. Hey, Murdersville, welcome. But it is also one of the better giallos that came out, period. This is amazing. Atomic Films, I really strongly recommend that you pick this one up. There are some great features on this, and it is a fantastic film. If you've never seen Lizard in a Woman's Skin, I highly recommend it. Florinda Balkan, right? Florinda Balkan. I'm gonna cheat. Yeah, Florinda Balkan and Jean Sorel are in this one here. It's a little strange, but it's not kind of what you expect when you hear the name Lucio Fulci. And I'm going to probably be reviewing the movie Devil's Honey really soon. That's one of my pickups in Toronto there that I do recommend. He did, actually. That was incredible. There's a scene in this film here where, and this is not giving anything away about the film, where one of the actresses, when the actress walks into this room, and there's all these dogs, and they're opened up, like they're like pinned open. It looks incredibly well done, incredibly realistic, and just like was mentioned there, Fulci had to actually go and prove that he didn't hurt animals so that he wouldn't get charged, and he didn't. Like there was no animal like endangerment in this film here at all. A Lizard in a Woman's Skin is a really cool film. I don't want to give too much of it away. I kind of want to give a bit of a plot synopsis, but I don't at the very same time. But I will tell you that there are a ton of features on this one here, aside from just an incredible looking transfer of the film. You got Shedding the Skin documentary, Dr. Lucio Fulci's Day for Night, directed by Antonetta DeLillo, an interview with writer Stephen Thrower, who's always interesting to listen to, interview with actor Tony Adams, audio commentary with Chris Gavin, original trailers, radio spots, Mondo Macabre previews, and I'm not going to lie, anytime you watch Mondo Macabre preview, hey, and ready? Oh, really? I'm actually probably going to watch that later on tonight. I hope you enjoyed it. I like that one. It's kind of a strange one, Yvonne DiCarlo especially in the film, but it's been a while since I've seen it. But I'm actually really stoked to check out Silent Scream. That's the one of the ones that I picked up at Bay Street as well. And it came out, actually. I picked it up on the day that it came out, which was really cool to grab it that way. Oh, he's so sleepy. But did you enjoy it? This one here, and ready, if you don't have it, Lizard in a Woman's Skin by Mondo Macabre. This is a release to get of this film. It is incredible. There you go. We're starting it with a strong one. Where do you go from there? I mean, Lizard in a Woman's Skin is one. He definitely should have done more Western giallos. Oh, perfect. So that makes me more excited about it and ready. Because it's been a long time since I've seen the film. Fulci should have done more. Fulci should have done more, period. And he should have had bigger budgets for a lot of the stuff that he did. Watching The Devil's Honey was watching Fulci, and like Fulci often has like eroticism and sex and in some way or another in a lot of his films. Sometimes it's in a positive light, sometimes it can be in a very negative light, but he always explores those ideas and those boundaries. One thing that I really like about Fulci is he can really surprise you. And one thing I can say about Devil's Honey is it really surprised me. It was not at all what I thought was going in. For the Apocalypse, Massacre Time, fantastic films. It's been a long time since I've seen For the Apocalypse. Don't remember that one as well, but I do remember Massacre Time. It's one that I actually picked up on VHS from Miami. What's it called? Miami Video? Miami. You know the one I'm talking. Video Search Miami. $25. And yeah, Fulci is amazing. He never got enough credit. I wish he would have done more in the genre of Will. It kind of almost like when I look at Devil's Honey, it almost like it's almost like really good Zalman King style of film with some serious like some serious introspection in it. Never have I seen. It's been a long time since I've seen a movie. I don't think I've ever seen a movie that's like mixed grief, loss, you know, your perspective, like memory, and what you perceive versus reality, and sadomasochism all together in such a great way. You do it, yeah. See, when you're in Canada, that's what you do. Theater Search Miami was one of the places to get this stuff. So I wanted to put a Shout Select in here. Definitely check it out, Jesse. It's a really good one. Don't expect like a horror film. It's not that type of film. And it goes in a very different direction. Definitely, after you watch the movie, dive into the special features. They're extremely good. Severin has done an incredible job on Devil's Honey, and it's more than that film with the saxophone scene in it. Highly recommend it. Shout Select. I've got a Shout Select in my hand right now. I can tell you one thing. It's not horror, but it's a damn good movie. And does anybody want to guess? Jesse got the last one right when he said a lizard in a woman's skin for Mondo Macabre. So I've got a Shout Select in my hand here right now. One that I do recommend everybody has from the Shout Select library. And if you haven't checked out their stuff, they got a lot of really good stuff out there. A lot of stuff that I really want. But the one I'm holding right now in my hands, you're 2 for 2, Jesse. You really are. Nighthawks is one of my favorite in this genre. Rutger Hauer was incredible. Rutger Hauer was scary in this film, and he was scarily good. This was his first like North American film. Stallone was actually very jealous of Rutger Hauer to the point where basically there's a couple directors on this film, but at the point that I think I was reading the latest Shock Cinema. See, Andy, fantastic! You have fantastic taste. And Catherine Mary Stewart was interviewed in the latest issue of Shock Cinema. It's a magazine I really recommend, by the way. They do great interviews in there. And she said that when she, oh, woof, check it out, man. This is a really, really great film. And it's one of those that ages well. When she was doing her scene, because Catherine Mary Stewart from Night of the Comets has a small scene in this film where she plays a store clerk that because Rutger Hauer is the terrorist, and she's one of the victims of one of his terrorist acts. When she got on the film, Stallone was actually directing the film. She's pretty blunt and open about that. She said about 2 or 3 people directed this film, but by the time she got on it, with the violent director's cut, this is the uncut version. I'm pretty sure it is actually. Let's just check here because it's been a while since I've seen it. I'm going to assume this is. You'd have to look into it, I'll be honest with you. But I know it's a really super excellent, great edition of this film. And so far, the very best one that I've seen. Nighthawks, again, this is one where the features are almost as good as the film. The back story of Nighthawks is incredible. And the guy that was like, what's his name? Someone's seen the character's death by the end. I think so. I think so then. Don't quote me, but I think so. The interview, a guy that worked for Stallone at the time, I think it was his agent or something like that. And he like does a lot in trying to defend Stallone during the, about the behind the scenes of the making of the film. And it kind of goes, it kind of works in the opposite. Like you can tell he's trying to like be very defensive of Stallone. You can tell it's not coming off quite as well as he thinks it is. But one thing is true. It's one hell of a good interview and something that needs to be checked out. So the Shout Select edition of Nighthawks is the edition to pick up. The next one is going to be very, very easy to choose. It's a great one, and the special features are incredible on there as well. Actually, Catherine Mary Stewart is interviewed on that one, if I remember correctly. Still an amazingly beautiful woman. Sorry, but I gotta have my tea tonight. I've got semi-regular tea. My better half has me cut down caffeine-wise, so I'm actually having some is a caffeinated tea tonight. So, yo, De Katana, how goes? My kitty is very, like, super comfy in the background. Oh my god. Can you imagine being that comfortable? Like, that's awesome. Umbrella. This is an easy one. Umbrella release that everybody has to own. I've only got a couple of these. If you watch my channel at all, you know exactly what this is. And I did mix it up a bit. Yes, 3 for 3. Jesse, if this was a game show, you'd be like racking up the points. And it is fair game. I originally thought about putting Body Double here because I'm a huge Brian De Palma fan, but I kind of thought everybody would guess Body Double. But Fair Game is a movie that I watched more recently, and I dove into the features, which are incredible. Hey, Sarah Light Shout, welcome, dude. Welcome back. I just respond to you on, like, you had a really good idea for, like, doing like a point of view perspective when I use the gloves, which I actually really dig. If you haven't checked out Fair Game, it's an Umbrella release. I did see a copy of this, I think, at Bay Street. So, Toronto, if you're there, guys, this is worth picking up. Umbrella does some really, really great stuff in Fair Game. I know, he's just like, he's really got it down. Well, I actually didn't intend it. I wanted to do a video tonight, but I really had no idea what I was going to do it on. And this kind of quiz show thing is actually kind of working out. I'm kind of digging it right now. If you've never seen Fair Game, it's a very different, very unique Umbrella release. And I do recommend it. There's some great behind the scenes audio commentary in here as well. I really dove like deep into these special features. I actually spent a whole evening just like watching the movie, listening to the commentary, listening to all the features. Highly recommended for me if you like Fair Game at all, and I really think if you haven't seen it, go in blind. It's a great watch, and it's a very different style revenge film. It's not at all what you think it's going to be. It's got some really kind of cool, clever aspects to it, and the characters go in a different way than you think. All right, I've got a hard one, and I will tell you, this is going to be a hard one. Oh, most of the Umbrella releases, I think they're all region, actually. There you go, see? Like most of the Umbrella releases that I've ever seen, you'd have to check on each one, but this one's all region. I'm going to drop Bay Street's name again because I almost picked up an Umbrella release there. They had road games. I love road games. And I don't know why I didn't pick it up. I spent a lot of money, that's why. And I just couldn't get any more. I really stretched my dollar and above. And I can't wait to go back and stretch some more. Okay, Code Red. Oh yeah, they do have some Umbrella releases there. That's what really surprised me. This one that was there, Fair Games was there. Fair Game was there, and Road Games, which really recommend Road Games. Stacy Keach and Jamie Lee Curtis, fantastic movie. Love the ending. A lot of great features on it as well. I'm an idiot for not picking it up. One thing that they got there, I did want to say because I want to get it when I go back, but I'm not going to get back in time to get this. I know I'm not. But they had like the Blue Underground, and not everybody's going to want this, but I would. You had a box set of the Mondo series, the Mondo Kane collection, and I really want that. But yeah, I kind of want to take a trip back. Okay, Code Red, guys. Jesse, anybody? Well, that's the thing. Arrow are basically I don't have the Savage Streets from Code Red. Arrow basically, they are a UK company. Though if you're in North America, it's a lot easier to get like like region free players. If you look around like your Canadian Tire, I'm not sure if you're in Canada or not. There's a player called the Seiki, SEIKI, and it's a region free player. They're actually very cheap. So I recommend picking up a region free player. Trust me, it will change the way that you pick movies. great choice, and was almost my choice. And ready, actually, it was one of the ones I had in my hand, but I wanted to go with something different. I wanted this to be a hard one to pick, and it is, apparently. Black Candles. House on the Edge of the Park was just too obvious. I love that movie, and everybody would have picked you would have picked House on the Edge of the Park because that's one of my favorite films. But Black Candles is a very different release for any company. Butcher Baker Nightmare Maker. I've got a few from Code Red. Actually, I'll go through anytime you want me to go through any releases or any type, or you're wondering if I got a movie. If I got it, I'm right here in the movie library. It doesn't take anything for me to go grab it, check the movie, check the if it's region free, what features it has. So anytime that question pops in any of your heads, guys, just ask me. If I got it here, I'll check for you. Black Candles is really, really different. Now, this is by the guy that did Vampires. He did the movie Symptoms, which is another great Mondo Macabre release. Symptoms, a bit of a slow burn, but I do think it's a really good release. This is really different. This is kind of like this is high on the sexploitation aspect of the film. There is a lot of like nudity in this film. It is like kind of an occult film. Imagine like if it was, imagine The Devil's Reign if they were like more attractive and naked a lot, and there was a goat person sequence. I'm not joking. I could make this up if I tried. This is a weird film, but I've watched it so many times. Oh, they have some amazing rental stuff there. I know why you don't support Code Red. Aside from, I think that the products are fairly decent. I've actually got a few other things. But if you're anything like me, or my better half, some of the comments that have been made by the, or have been supposedly made by the guy, I've been kind of like iffy. But I do like a lot of stuff they put out. This one here has absolutely no features on it. It is a region-free release, though. Make you pro. And I got to make sure there's no nudity. No, there's no nudity. So I can kind of show this. So this is a super sexy film. They will go with that. So this might be a little bit easier. A little bit. Redemption. We got a Redemption title. A Kino sub label here. So I've got a Redemption title in my hands right now. I'm actually really digging this. This is kind of cool. I don't know if you guys are liking this. Let me know if you do, by the way. If you watch this later on and you're not doing this live, comment in the comment section down below. This whole kind of like quiz game type of thing, kind of cool. Let me know what you think. So I've got I almost said the name of it, a Redemption title in my hands. I'll give you a bit of a hint. It's a Pete Walker film. Yeah, it's a Pete Walker release. So that's going to narrow it down a bit. It's with people in it, and it's definitely a thriller. Not Frightmare. I actually have Frightmare. The thing is, I can't do Frightmare on its own because that's part of a set. Like I got the Pete Walker Volume 2, I think it is, and that's got Frightmare on it. So this is I limited myself to single releases. So really good choice. I almost picked it, but because it was part of the box set, I couldn't. The Comeback was what I was going to choose, but I chose Schizo. Comeback is one of my favorites, too. So you're picking some of my favorite films. It's just that Schizo really stands out to me. The sad thing is that the title gives a lot of this movie away, but it is actually really good, and it's one of Pete Walker's better films, and actually one of his lesser-known films. There's one that he did much better known with Susan George. But not as good, not half as good as this. It was actually a little bit on the slower side, and I really got to rewatch it again to see if it actually picks up. But I watched Schizo around like since I picked up around 3 times, and do really enjoy this release. This is actually the complete uncut version of Schizo, and this is a Region A release. So if you are in North America, this is Region A. It does have like an interview with Pete Walker on here as well. Actually, that's what I'm talking about, Die Screaming Marianne. Actually, Wolf, Die Screaming Marianne is probably one of the lesser Pete Walker works. So if you like that movie at all, you're going to love movies like The Comeback, which Jesse mentioned just then, Frightmare, which is an incredible film, and Schizo, because they are actually much than Die Screaming Marianne. Die Screaming Marianne, kind of boring. Yeah, not going to lie. If I was to give anybody a recommendation for a movie not to watch first for Pete Walker, Die Screaming Marianne is definitely, you're not wrong. And it's, for what, in my opinion anyway, I had the same opinion of Die Screaming Marianne that you did. Yeah, it's Schizo. Gots to be Schizo. Schizo is actually a really good one. And if you haven't checked it out, they do some really great releases, and this is definitely a favorite of mine. And who played the girl in this? She was really good. Lynn Frederick, yeah, from Vampire Circus. So, also, if you never checked that out, now we're going. I think you guys are going to get this one. Intervision. We've got an Intervision title. Murder by Death, I actually really liked it back in the day. But I'll be honest, Jesse, my memory of Murder by Death is very limited. The one with Jack Jones is called The Comeback. It's a really good one. It's the closest thing to kind of a giallo that Pete Walker ever did. So if you're a fan of the giallo genre and you want to see kind of the giallo done in an English style setting, it's definitely The Comeback with Jack Jones. The cover that Kino put out is actually a really crappy cover, but don't let that sway you from the film. The film itself, The Comeback, is actually really, really good. And it's one that I do come back to. Oh, really? That is super cool. I love the Vampire Circus. Nobody's guessed the Intervision title yet. If you need a bit of hint on what Intervision is, because I get asked that question a few times. Intervision is the shot-on-video label that came by... I don't have Murder Harvest, actually. I don't want to get that one. That's from Severin. I actually, when I got my thing, when I went upstairs afterwards, I noticed there's a little like coupon thing saying we're sorry that it took so long to get the last of the Black Friday stuff out, and there was a 20% coupon with my, which is really cool of Severin to do that actually. So I'll definitely be buying more Severin in the near future because I got a 20% coupon and it's got a date on it that I have to buy something by, which is my birthday, March 31st. Intervision. It's all about pain. You did it? I got to see that. I got to check that out, dude. Because I've been wondering about Murder by Death as well. Because it's been so long since I've seen it. I think Peter Falk is in that one, if I remember correctly. Right? Peter Falk? Is he in that one? Or am I just thinking a Peter Falk-like character? Kind of remember. Maybe it wasn't Peter Falk. I can't remember. I'll check out your video. Maybe that'll tell me. So nobody's guessed the Intervision one. Yeah, I need to get that. I want to get that one that they did too. The supposed to be really bad one with the Scarecrow and like the Vincent Price one. Kind of a Vincent Price did like an anthology. Apparently it's really horrible, and you guys know. Oh, perfect. See, I know Peter Falk mainly from like a few things he did with George Segal, of course, Columbo, and the Cassavetes stuff, of course. Nobody guessed it. I can't believe nobody guessed it. You guys have heard me talk about this movie so many times. And if you do not have this in your collection, and you want to be known, you want for having some really cool, bad cinema, some Z grade, not B grade, not C grade, not even a D or E or an F grade, some Z grade, some double Z grade cinema. It is bad, Buzz. Things was shot in Ontario, actually. It is a Canucksploitation film. It was done in 1989. It is worse than it looks on the cover. I know that's hard to believe. But good one. So basically, it's shot almost primarily in one cabin. Oh, Z grade means that it's the lowest of the budgets. It's just like you can forget acting of any caliber within this film. Think of like a Drive-In Massacre or The Room or Troll 2. And then think of a worse movie than that. And this is it. No, there's no sequel to Things, though the director of the film actually has said he's been thinking about doing a sequel to this movie. Oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. There should only be one Things. Don't sequelize it. Don't do like they try to do when the movie becomes a hit. Like, we don't want a Room 2. We don't want like look, Troll 2.5. Even though there's other Troll movies. We want these beautiful slices of schlock to stay frozen in the time that they're in. There's mullets, there's beer, there's bread sandwiches, there's a porn actress, Amber Lynn. I see my eyes. Okay, Amber Lynn in this film, and Amber Lynn is a gorgeous girl, and I'm from the 80s. She's like in the era of the adult industry that I was most familiar with. Surprised to find out she ain't nude in this film. No, she's a weather girl. She's a newscaster. Because, of course she is. Because this is one of the most inept movies. It is the most inept movie I've ever seen in my life. And I do recommend it to anybody because it's a barrel of fun. You're going to watch this, you're going to be wondering, what the? For real? That's pretty much going to be like your response throughout the entire thing. And you're going to finish it and you're going to be like, that was painful. I'm never going to watch that again. Then a friend is going to come over. A friend is going to come over and say, well, we should watch a movie. And you're going to think, oh yeah, I know exactly what we're watching. And this, my friend, is going to become your go-to movie of pain to show to some of your friends. And like, I could tell you, but you're not going to believe me. So, I got to show you. Pick up Things. Next up, because I wanted to do another DVD. And this is kind of different, and I did this for a different reason. This is the Cult Cinema Collection from 88 Films. And it's not Blast Fighter, which is one of the best that they put out. I actually gave that one to my dad because because he really wanted, like, that was like a song written by the Bee Gees on Blast Fighter, and my dad's a huge Bee Gees fan. If you've never seen Blast Fighter, it's got like George Eastman, and I'll talk about George Eastman on one of my videos one of these days. He's one of those guys, like 6'9", really kind of a cool actor. That's not his real name, by the way. He's an Italian actor, fantastic, but not only Italian actor, he's a writer as well. So yeah, remind me, I'm going to go into George Eastman strong in one of my videos because he deserves it. Oh no, I know you're thinking absurd. This isn't a George Eastman film. I don't mean to like kind of like swerve you. I was just mentioning Blast Fighter, the one that this would be right here if I hadn't, he hadn't given this one to my dad. So I'm kind of hoping that Blast Fighter comes out on Severin. If it's not out on Severin, please Severin, put it out with your black case. I want it so bad from Severin, and I want a soundtrack. I don't think anybody's going to think this one, because it's not usually my genre. Which might be a good... Hey Mark, welcome dude. We are playing a game here. And basically, I'm mentioning a company. I'm not showing what it is until people guess. And so far nobody's guessed this one. And this one is from 88 Films, the Cult Cinema Collection. Those yellow cases that you see that kind of look like Shameless cases. And I'll show it because it's not one that I would normally use. And it stars Ian McCulloch, if that helps you at all, who was also in Contamination. And I'm going to be dropping like hints here. This goes under another title. It was put out by Severin Films under the other title. And it was directed by Marino Girolami. So maybe that gave it away. Maybe it did. But, ta-da, it's Zombie Holocaust, otherwise known as Dr. Butcher MD. I think most people go under the Dr. Butcher MD title. But at the time, I wasn't sure how I felt about the cannibal genre. And this is why I'm mentioning this one right here. Some people, well, if you're younger, maybe Green Inferno was your first experience with the cannibal genre. I really hope not. Not a favorite of mine. Some people like it. I don't mind Eli Roth. Now, I got nothing against Eli Roth, actually. Some people do. I actually find him very entertaining for a lot of his stuff. See, nobody, yeah, see, honestly, I wouldn't have guessed this if I asked myself and I didn't know. But the reason I picked it is because of the documentary. There's a great documentary on here for anybody that's never looked at all into the cannibal style of film. And that is a documentary, runs 82 minutes long, and it's called Eaten Alive. It's a good way to dip your toes. First zombie movie was Zombie. That's a good first film. Knock Knock. Are we talking about like the movie with the remake? Knock Knock? Because I loved the remake Knock Knock. A lot of people don't like it, with Keanu Reeves. Fantastic film. Original's great too. With, oh God, what's her name? She was like married to, I think she was married to Clint Eastwood, right? In the original film, like one of the young ladies in the film. But yeah, Eaten Alive on this one here. Not so much Zombie Holocaust. Dr. Butcher MD is a fun film, like it's a schlocky film of its day. But for the documentary that was on here, and I could have picked Spasmo, which was another one that I had. I don't have a lot of these releases, see, but I was in London at the time, and I saw this here. I looked on the back and I saw the documentary Eaten Alive on there, and I knew I had to have it because I was unsure about a lot of the cannibal films. Like I had come across certain cannibal films that I had, like Cannibal Ferox, and of course, oh God, what's it called? I've got a few, but like I try to steer towards the animal cruelty free ones, right? Because I don't like animal cruelty in any of my films. Obviously, you see my little cat in the background. I don't want to see any animal getting hurt on screen. I don't think there's any reason for that, man. It's actually really good. The Zombie Holocaust, I think I'm pretty sure I got Zombie Holocaust here somewhere. Yeah, no. Oh, no, Zombie Holocaust because the aspect of it. Oh, I just literally had it in my hands. What am I thinking? Did you mean cannibals? I lost my train of thought. See, I didn't think this portion of the video was going to go over as well as it did. So I only picked a few movies thinking that you guys would steer me in a different direction because this was going to bore the hell out of you. That's the truth of the matter. So I did not think ahead, guys. What a shocker. So we are going to swerve a bit. And in case you guys never saw the releases or you just came on, that I mentioned that everybody should own, you should own this release for the documentary. I think the documentary might be in the Severin release as well. It's not Sandra Locke. Thank you, Ann-Reddy. That's who I'm trying to remember. I totally was lost on the name. Yeah, I know. There's an animal-free version, though, Jesse. That's what I always watch. I never watch the one with the animal thing. Like, if I remember the first time I saw Cannibal Holocaust, and I turned it on. I think it was on VHS, and it got to the turtle scene, and I turned it off. You know, I couldn't get past that. Things from Intervision. Schizo, Pete Walker film from Redemption. I'm just going to check something here for you guys because I think you all should have this one. Good news. You can buy things. It's an all-region one. So you have, no matter what country you're from. Yeah, she did, unfortunately. We actually lost Albert Finney tonight. I was going to talk about that later on, actually. I'm a huge fan of Albert Finney. And bringing it back to Bay Street again, one of the movies that I was looking at in in there was a Warner Archives release of a film I really, really like, and I think it's really underrated too. It's kind of a horror, like kind of a murder mystery thriller with a bit of sci-fi aspect to it, called Looker, and I think it was done by Michael Crichton, if I'm correct. Wolfen was a fantastic film, one of the best like more modern day werewolf films that are out there. I really love the movie Wolfen, but Looker was one of my favorite films, like in that, you know, that kind of genre. Like, I love the film. And Susan Day actually is in Looker. I'm pretty sure she is. I'm playing some Finney today. He's got some great stuff. Do you know, I used to get, for some reason, you don't look at all alike, but I used to get Albert Finney and Peter Finch like mixed up when I was a kid. Because I thought, okay, the guy that played Daddy Warbucks was in Network, and it wasn't. It was Peter Finch. But when I was like, you know, when I was younger, I would get those two confused. I was a kid. For Code Red, release that I think everybody should have is Black Candles. But of course, if that's not your bag, House on the Edge of the Park, definitely want to pick up. For Umbrella releasing, I chose Fair Game. Oh, Looker didn't need to be more than PG, though, Jesse. The style of film that it is, it wasn't an R film. And remember that back when Looker was done, PG meant something. Nowadays, if you watch a PG film, it's usually fairly tame. Oh, what company put out the Zombie Holocaust one? And that's actually 88 Films release. When they put their films on DVD, what they do is they put them under in a yellow case, and they call it the Cult Cinema Collection. So it's 88 Films, but it's kind of a sub-label, much like they got their Slasher collection and their Italian collection and their Asia collection. The yellow cases are DVD versions of their some of their bigger releases under a Cult Cinema label. So if you go onto 88 Films or my Shopify page, you'll be able to find it there. Good question, by the way, because sometimes I don't really like explain well enough. So always ask. Outlaw Josie Wells, Sandra Bullock was incredible. I had a big crush on Sandra Bullock, actually. Not a surprise from you guys, is it? Fair Game, just an incredible film. Nighthawks, the Shout Select one that I recommended. Strongly recommended, and great features on this. Make sure you check it out, guys. And of course, the very first one. It's like, Tourist Trap is PG? Holy crap, that's a hard PG. Sudden Impact. Oh, such a good movie. And Lizard in a Woman's Skin. One of the great giallos of all time. This week, I haven't gotten to watch it yet because my better half wants to watch with me. But if you guys got Shudder, I strongly recommend you check out the Noir, the cinema documentary that just got released from them. It is apparently amazing. It's one that I'm really looking forward to watching, and I know that it's on like it's on horror, but I'm not sure if blaxploitation or black cinema and horror aspects of that. Definitely check it out. I'm very looking forward to that. Also, I watched Russian Doll on Netflix. It was really freaking good. I made the mistake of starting to watch it in the middle of the night and said, "Oh, we'll just watch an episode. If I like it, I'll watch the rest later on." So morning came, not joking, and it was like 7 o'clock in the morning. I was on the last episode. I was not going to go to sleep till I finished it. I love Natasha Lyonne. And there was a great twist in the third episode that I didn't actually see coming at all. So that changed things up. And it's kind of ironic. Oh, thanks, Michael. Anytime you have any ideas, by the way, for things that you want to see, let me know, because sometimes I run out of ideas. Like tonight when I just did something really different, which I hope you like. And I'm actually mentioning some things that are actually stream that I'm hoping will get a physical release. Remakes. There's an idea. I actually used to do a remake thing where I did original versus remake. If you go back a bit, me and my one of my kiddies used to work on that. But I actually don't go back a bit. We'll do new ones. We'll do better ones. We started on it. Yeah, Russian Doll. Definitely check that out. Also, Amazon Prime put out a show called Forever, and ironically, it stars her boyfriend, actually, Natasha Lyonne's boyfriend, Fred Armisen, who many of you guys are going to know from either Saturday Night Live or Portlandia. But Forever was a really, really smart, clever show. If you've never seen it, go in and look at. Yeah, I'm not sure if you're on my Facebook or not, but you know that I actually list Big Clock as a movie that everybody needs to have. Surrealism and anthology films, science fiction. I'm like mentally making like notes in mind. So if I'm not mentioning, I didn't watch the Pet Sematary trailer, and I'll tell you why. Because I heard there's big spoilers in it. So I stayed away from the trailer for that reason. Because apparently something within the film is going in a different direction. So don't tell me. And I am looking forward to the Pet Sematary film. I did, however, watch the Child's Play one. And I'll give you my thoughts. Oh, kids are doing great. Knock on wood. In Halifax, my oldest works at a bank, just got a promotion not too long ago, and a raise. And my youngest is in university, and actually may be doing my trilogy, I know, and may actually be doing be changing his major. But anyway, so what did I think of the Child's Play trailer, the new Child's Play film? I'm going to say this right now. I'm a really big fan of the original Child's Play films, and I really get upset when people rag on a lot of the sequels. Everybody's got their own opinion. I do like, and I do have a lot of respect for Don Mancini, who has went over all of these films. He's stuck with the franchise, and he's done his own thing. MGM had the ability to do a remake. They kept Don Mancini out of it, and they did their own thing. All right. No Brad Dourif, exactly. There's no Brad Dourif in this one. I don't know who's doing the voice. Somebody jokingly said, Gary Busey, and I totally believed them. I totally fell for it. I'm like, the Ginger Dead Man? Are you kidding? You've only seen the first? Dude, that's not even the best one. Really, it's not. Actually, the second one is way better than the first film. I don't have any of the Jackie Chan release. I really want the Eureka release of When a Stranger Calls. That's like high on my list. Gary would not be good for the remake. He's just, I love Gary Busey as an actor, but as a voice actor, let's just say Ginger Dead Man, the movies didn't lose anything when they didn't have Gary Busey come back to do the rest of the films. Well, they weren't very good movies anyway. Let's be honest. They pretty much sucked ass. So the way I feel about the franchise is, and this is going to be like very controversial. I'm going to get to the trailer part at the end of my thoughts. So I love the first film, saw it in theater. Second film, in my opinion, I still think it's way better than the first film. I love the first film, still a great film, still a classic. But the second film, I really liked. Third film, I didn't like very much when I originally saw it. I've since warmed to the film. It's still not one of my favorites. But I do enjoy it now more than I did before. I was really hung up on the fact that they changed who played Andy. And even though Justin Whalen, he's the guy that pissed me off twice. He's a good actor. It's just that first time, Child's Play 3. Next time, I was watching Lois and Clark. Really liked the guy that played Jimmy Olsen. Bam! First season of Lois and Clark ends. What did they do? Take the guy out because apparently too handsome and looks too much like Superman. So they bring Justin Whalen, the guy that took over as Andy. to do Lois and Clark. So that's my Justin Whalen experience for you guys. But I actually do like the actor a lot. But I just thought it was kind of funny. Next came up was Bride of Chucky, right? With which I thought was really good. What was really good about it, and it wasn't perfect. Visuals were stunning. I really think that they needed to spice it up. They needed to do something different. Some people go back and forth on old Bride Chucky, but they were going there. They were getting there. And what I'm going to say, a lot of people aren't going to live. I'm going to agree with. But yeah, they definitely pulled a Jason Lives. But I think they did it with a bit more success. And Jason Lives was a great success. But unfortunately, there had been much damage done already. It was Tiffany. Bringing in the character of Tiffany, bringing in that actress, Jennifer. Oh God! Oh please don't. She's on my Google Doc list. Jennifer Tilly. Okay, there we go. Jennifer Tilly. So bring in Jennifer Tilly, who was gorgeous, and Jennifer Tilly's not just. One of the mistakes a lot of people make with Jennifer Tilly is they look at her and her cute voice and her incredible body. That's a given. And they kind of stop there. Jennifer Tilly is an extremely smart lady. Not only just, she's a really, really intelligent lady and an amazing thinker. She's actually one of the best poker players, bar none. She's an amazing poker player, and she's won a ton, playing poker. I don't think Meg Tilly is going to come in for the remake. She would not do that. Anyway, so then came Seed of Chucky. Before I say anything, what does everybody think of Seed? What do you think of Seed of Chucky? I liked her in Psycho too. Any thoughts on Seed of Chucky before? What do you think my thoughts on Seed of Chucky are going to be? Go with that. Go with the game show thing tonight. What do you think my thoughts on Seed of Chucky are going to be? Buzz is right. Jesse, this time you got it wrong. You can't get them all. I really like it. For me, Seed of Chucky completes exactly. I really like to confuse stuff. Now you also remember Don Mancini is Don Mancini's gay, and he doesn't put that really strongly into his films. But I do like the fact that he used the Glenn and Glenda aspect of it, which not only was that at that aspect to it, but also is a great nod to Ed Wood. I'm a huge Ed Wood fan. See, the Bride of Chucky went there. It's the one with Redman. A great gore scene, by the way, with Redman. You got to admit that is a good gore scene. But for me, Bride of Chucky was still holding back. If you're going to go in and you're going to make this drastic a change, right, in a franchise, if you're going to go this far with it, if you're going to introduce a second doll, a Tiffany character, if you're going to go into more the comedic aspect of it, you can't half-ass it. And as much as I like Bride and like some of the visuals of Bride, I really think that aspects of Bride, it panders a bit. It does half-ass it a little bit. But I do think that one of the things that makes Seed of Chucky so despised and so hated by a lot of people, it doesn't half-ass anything. It goes all in with the satirical aspect of the of what they wanted to go with. And one thing that you can't say in this is they do not portray the character of Chucky. Chucky is who Chucky is. No matter what goes on in any of these films, the character of Chucky, his portrayal, thanks to having Brad Dourif, thanks to keeping solid with the portrayal of Chucky himself, it's solid. So no matter what's going on around, that you've got, he anchors. He's the anchor of each of these films. And by the time that that Seed of Chucky comes around, we've got Jennifer Tilly playing a kind of a humorous version of Jennifer Tilly. And I think that took a lot of like bravery to do what she did, and actually to play the kind of the Tiffany character too. Great aspects, and a lot of satire, a lot of gore. Like, this is one of the more gory of Child's Play films. It doesn't get enough credit. That's my thought. A lot of people are going to disagree. People are going to watch this video, go down in the comment section down below. You're wrong. Seed of Chucky is horrible. No, I'm not. That's my opinion. Yeah, actually, I'm going to show you. I'll tell you how that's going to work too. And I'm going to get to call it, actually. Next up is Curse. And Curse was amazing. Hands down. Amazing. Great film. They just did such a great job. Cult. It was okay. I liked aspects of Cult. Cult seems unfinished. And there's a reason for that. By the time the Cult was done, well, when Curse was done, they had a lower budget. But Curse had a self-contained story that could go on, would be continued on within the next film. And it seemed like a complete film, very like a throwback to more the gothic scare aspect of the Child's Play franchise. When Cult came along, there was a lot about Cult to like. But one of the things that I think tears people away, and I'm not sure if it does for any of you, is that it's a little unfinished. It seems like once the movie ends, it's just getting started. Now, that being said, I liked many aspects of Call of Chucky. I love the multiple doll aspect of it. I like I really like the lines with Chucky and the psychiatrist, where I don't know whether to kill the guy or to plot him. It's just incredible stuff. Or take notes, something like that. It's just amazing stuff. There's this like sleazy psychiatrist within the film. It just does a great job. And hey Peter, how's it going, man? And what's super cool is this. Is he bring Brad Dourif, who of course is famous for One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. That's people remember for Child's Play now, but he was in an Oscar nominated film like One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest is one of the great films out there, one of the great Jack Nicholson films of all time, and Brad Dourif had an extremely important part in that movie. So when Brad Dourif is going back to, as Chucky is going back to the asylum, there's kind of like there's a resonance. There's like an oh my god moment there. So obviously now there's the remake coming out, and Don Mancini is going to continue the Child's Play franchise the way that I think. When you see Cult now and you rewatch it and you realize what he's going to do, it's going to make more sense. Don Mancini is doing 8 episodes, like an hour-long series, 8 hours episodes, like kind of a mini-series type of thing. I also love the setting, and I think they can do a lot more with it. So basically, Child's Play is going to be a series. Child's Play has been picked up for a TV series, been picked up for an initial 8-episode run. I do think 8 episodes is like a good length for a series now, especially like in days of like Game of Thrones and Walking Dead and stuff like that. I find that like these shorter shows, they can put a bit more money because they can pack much more budget into one episode, and they can do quality episodes and not have to do filler episodes. As like you see, if you watch, like, I love Arrow and Flash and all that type of stuff, but a 22 episode run nowadays, come on guys, we're getting a lot of filler in between getting a good episode. That's just the way that it goes. So so Chucky is being done as a TV series with Don Mancini, and a lot of the crew that worked on the recent Child's Play films, they will be, as far as I know, in the TV series as well. Now, I'm going to let him clean himself in peace. One thing that I do have to say is today, here we go to it. I watched the trailer, and it was interesting. The doll is still called Chucky, although they can't use the good guy name, so they use the Buddy name, Budi or Buddi, something like that. It looks like a techno thriller. It doesn't look like a slasher film. I like Aubrey Plaza. I think the actor that's playing the kid looks good. Actually, not for Child's Play, actually. I think they can actually go a lot further. I think TV is a great idea for some of these franchises, like Jesse, like you say, that may have felt like it's run its course. I really do think that with what we can get away with now on television, there's especially not on not on a regular network, of course, but there's some things that you may think like have kind of lost its thing, but for the the Phantasm franchise, there it's up to Ravager. What some people don't know is I'm a writer. One of the things that I wrote when I did this when I was doing I was writing some pilots that I was going to be shopping around, was I did a pilot for a Phantasm series, and I had the Bible for the first 6 episodes done, and basically it was the guys. It was a road series where basically they're running from the tall man and they're going from town to town, rescuing people along the way, getting into stuff, and trying to find ways to help bring them down once and for all. And I wanted to build up on the mythos like that. So I think that there's actually, when a franchise may seem like it's getting a little long in the tooth, television may be a good way to go. This reboot, I don't know if I'm bored. I don't like and I think it might be a fun film in its own, but I don't think it ever should have been called Child's Play. Thanks. I actually worked really hard on that. I actually had a 94-page script, actually. Legion, unfortunately, Jesse, is finishing this year, which is sad. It's actually its 3rd season. It's going to be its final season. So make sure to check it out. Legion's actually a really good show, guys, if you've never seen it. And I really like Aubrey Plaza. She's on the Google Doc list. That's a huge list, by the way. But I got to say, I don't know. I was left indifferent. I was left a little cold. The guy that plays the kid does seem a little old for somebody that wants a buddy, a good guy doll. Acting wise, he looks like he's really good, but the kid does seem a little bit old. Does he really look the age of somebody that's going to say, I want a doll. I want a toy like that. He seems more like a kid around the age of I want a Switch. When I write, it's been a long time since I've written anything. Well, I did write a Lovecraftian style story that I'm still working on. But because I'm a huge fan of I have really dark stories. But I do like the aspect of going forward. I want to like it. I'm going to have to go in not thinking of it as Child's Play. I completely agree with Jennifer Tilly, who said, that ain't my Chucky. It's not. People ragged on her for that. And people were saying, well, where does she get off saying that, how dare Jennifer Tilly say that? Dude, Jennifer Tilly starred in a ton of Child's Play films. She is not just a good actress, but a smart lady. Jennifer Tilly has more right than the people that are ragging on her. Yeah, that pissed me off. That pissed me off. I stood up for Jennifer Tilly when guys were coming in, like Joe Blow was coming in. Well, I've watched all the Child's Play films. Well, she acted in them. Shut up. You can like it, but you can't not say her opinion matters or her opinion's not valid. Her opinion's valid. You can validate yourself when you do that. Exactly, Michael. Exactly. As much as he tries to kill her, she's Chucky's girl. Peter Parker background. He's awesome though, man. It is, but it's meant. That's the thing. It's like a lot of people will say, well, Tom Holland is like the real mind behind Child's Play because he did the first one, and that's the setup because he was the writer on it. But no, it's gone long past that. And Don Mancini has added so much into the aspects of the Child's Play franchise. Don Mancini really doesn't get the credit he deserves for that series, man. He really doesn't. It's a shame. I mean, nobody looks at at Phantasm and says, well, come on, I'm really not sure if Don Coscarelli is, deserves credit for Phantasm. Nobody says that. But for some reason, for Don Mancini, because he's not on board with this with this remake, because his feelings were hurt. They completely abandoned the creator. And as a writer, and as a creator of any type of content at all, that should if you create anything, that should be a major insult for anybody that creates stuff. It is for me. It's something that really bugs me. That's one of my pet peeves. There's gonna be some people that kind of come on here. They're gonna be doing my channel like, you're drinking tea, you're slurping on your video. I can't help it. I'm thirsty. I gotta have a voice. And my tea is cold, and it's so good when it gets to that level of cold. I'm not gonna lie, it really is. But no, so I thought it was okay. I don't think it's Child's Play. I don't think it in any way is going to be a Child's Play film. Not my Chucky. Hashtag not my Chucky, I guess is what you'd say. Does that mean I'm not going to enjoy it? No, not at all. I might love the film. I just won't love it as a Child's Play film. I'll love it as its own thing. And if it can do that, if it can actually bring me in and do its own thing, I realize Child's Play, it is. I saw Child's Play in the theater. Candyman, Leprechaun. Leprechaun is one that I could see going to television. I could really see Leprechaun going the TV route. The Purge actually helped by doing a Purge TV series. I haven't seen all of it, but what I saw was actually pretty good. So if you can go with that, if you can if any guys here, if you guys got some great ideas, and that you want to work on. I mean, Netflix, with all the stuff that's out there now, with Netflix and Amazon and Shudder and all these places and all the shows that are coming out now, all the content that's going to be needed over the next 2 or 3 years. Now's a really serious time to think about it. Annabelle. That first movie was so bad though, man. The second movie was so good that it made the first movie made people think, yeah, maybe that first movie was better than we thought. No, it wasn't. But Annabelle Origins, really good. Really good. You gotta be a good sequel to make people think that the original is that was crap is good. They did it with Annabelle sequel, and they did it with Ouija as well. So Blumhouse, fantastic for doing that. It was that movie sucked ass. I'm never going to watch another one of those. Oh, that sequel is good. Maybe the first one was better than I thought it was. No, it wasn't. The sequel was good, though. Well, I think we kind of got an idea, Michael, of how he's going to run it. Because when you think about it right now, if you watch Curse and Cult, you're kind of seeing what can work in that style of format, especially Cult. Cult, like I mentioned there earlier, looks unfinished, right? Cult definitely looks unfinished. So if you've never seen, if you haven't seen Cult, check it out because that's going to give you an idea. There's those little teases at the end type of thing, and now he can take the money, whatever budget that he's got, and instead of making one movie and then 2 years later, a year or so later, making another movie and have continue like that. He's going to have hour-long episodes, 8-hour-long episodes to tell a continuous narrative. And I think within 8 episodes, you can tell a decent story and hopefully set up for a second season, which fingers crossed we'll get. So I think Don Mancini with Curse and Cult kind of gave us an idea of what a Child's Play TV series would, could, and should be like. That's that's my thought on it. That's kind of the way I think it's going to go. I'm hoping that Fiona Dorff's coming back. I think she is, actually, because she's really an important part now. I into this pose. This is actually one of the most comfortable. When I sit down for a while, I get kind of like, I'm really a hyper person. Oh, damn, Jesse, I missed that. Write that again, or repost it. You wrote a story. I started writing in elementary school. For people that are new to this channel, I originally I was going to be an actor, and then I started writing, and I was going to be a writer when I was in grade 5, I think. It was grade 5. It was Halloween time, and not sure if this will resonate with some people. I'm sure it will. We were given like this pumpkin sheet, right? Like with lines on it, and like just to write a story on. So I wrote like a story, and I went back to the front of the class, and I got like 12 or 13 pumpkin sheets to finish my story because I had it in my mind. And get this is pre-internet days. So basically, the story, I kind of remember aspects of it, is that people could go on a computer and contact people on other computers. Yeah, revolutionary. Remember, I was like, this is pre-internet days, and on my story, Satan had it's good. So basically, all I can say, write every day. Something, it could be anything, something small, and try to write around the same time every day if you can, or because it'll give you kind of like you get into a pattern. And writing is something, I know, trust me, I know this, that you can get rusty at, but once you start going and you start doing it, you'll pick it up, and you'll get done. I'm sure you'll do some great stuff. Anyway, my story is about Satan taking over the computers and taking people's souls through the computer. So my teacher sent me to a psychologist. I am not joking. This is true. My teacher read my story, sent me to a psychologist, because apparently it disturbed her. She was a sweetheart. She meant well. I was really into horror, even back then. And that was the first time that they wanted to advance me in grades, type of thing. Which I didn't do. I was an awkward kid already in school. I did not need to be an awkward kid in a grade that's in a couple grades higher, where my awkwardness going to shine a lot more. So no, not doing that. Not doing that. Stephen King would be proud. I had some really good stuff, especially when I was younger. I'm not going to lie, and there's no modesty with it at all. I did write some solid stuff in my youth that I really don't think I could touch now. No cocaine, actually. Yeah, cocaine free. I did have Coke and some Pepsi, because I wasn't one of those guys, Coke or Pepsi, because if I was going to choose Dr. Pepper, we'd go with Dr. Pepper. Wow, this is like a really comfortable positioning. I'm not going to lie. I've been at work the last few days, and I said I was going to tell you guys about some changes that are coming up. So I am looking to go back to school in the fall. Fingers crossed. I'm doing everything I can to go back to school. So that meant that I had to make a decision, kind of a life choice. As you guys know, I'm moving to Morocco in a couple years. And I need to do everything that I can to be ready to do what I need to do when I get there. I'm preparing for all that, actually, and going to see family, going to do like the whole go to see the family tour, go to see the friends type of thing, because in 2 years, I'm going to be halfway across the world. Lifelong learning, that's true. And I'm actually going to get into that a little bit more, Wolf. And so I chose to take a layoff from my position at work. It's going to mean for 3 or 4 months, things are going to be a bit leaner in the Penn household when it comes to certain things. a bit leaner. But I chose this at this time so that I could get it pretty much, as my grandparents would say, get my ducks in a row and get everything straightened away so that I can go to college and finish it off. So I'm going to go to going back to school. That does mean, however, on the good side of things, that hopefully, barring any complications at all, you will see more content on this channel. I will have a bit more time to actually work on videos here and do more frequent videos, as well as I'll be diving a bit into, when I got more spare time, I'm going to be diving into more of my films as well that I haven't been able to check out. And that means we're going to have a lot more to talk about. So really looking forward to that. I think I've got most of my unboxings done for a bit. I think Robert Harding, actually I won a contest a while back from a great YouTuber actually named Robert Harding. He's from Ontario. And he's got a small channel, really jovial, friendly guy. So basically he lost my address, so he couldn't get my prize out to me. So he's actually when I was in Ontario, he actually messaged me to get re-get my address. He's like, I never thought Facebook. So he found me on Facebook, and I sent him the address. So I'll be doing that unboxing when that comes. That might be a bit, but because it takes a bit to get things out here. But yeah, so that's the news that I was going to tell you guys in my last video. That's what I was going to mention, is that you will probably be seeing more output coming on this channel from me. I also am I hope so, Peter. I hope so. I also will be diving back into Just the Discs podcast again. Your response was really well received. I'd like to thank you so much for that. It's been one of my dreams, checked off, to actually guest host on a podcast but especially guest host on a podcast that I kind of one of the big ones that I really like have been listening to. Just the Disc was my podcast. It was kind of like my go-to comfort spot. I never ever thought it was going to be on the show. Hey, now B Movie Archives. But Stephanie came on here, and then Brian came on, thanks to a recommendation from Stephanie. And now I'm kind of the Vincent guy for Just the Discs. Brian said they want to get me pegged as that, but I said I'll gladly be the Vincent guy for the Just the Disc podcast anytime they need me to come on and talk about Vinegar Syndrome stuff. Brian's really busy with the Pure Cinema podcast too, so it's probably going to be late in February before we. Oh, let me see. I gotta look in. Oh, nice. Over there. Oh, you can't see it, but I got the picture over there actually that you're showing on there. But so yeah, so if you liked my episode of Just the Discs, if you haven't seen it, please listen to it. I worked really hard on it. I'm going to be on another one. We're probably not going to get to tape that till like late in February because he's been really busy, and I've been super busy. Plus, I got to watch the films and decide on which ones we're gonna review. Give it a listen, and if you listen to it through iTunes or any of that type of thing, like give it a thumbs up. Like, I'm gonna shill here for a minute. I don't shill on my channel very much. I don't have a Patreon and I don't get money for any of this stuff. So I'm gonna be honest. I really enjoy doing the podcast stuff, and I'm hoping that more of that will come my way. That I'll be able to do more with Just the Discs. So if you can give a review, I'm the guest star. I would consider me a guest star. Brian's the star. Like he's the star of all the Just the Disc things. I'll definitely keep you informed, like how I'm going with schooling. My other plan, and I have this as the future plan, basically. I want to continue like learning as well, and there's a thing out now where basically you can, you know, for like 180 bucks, that type of thing for a year, you get all these classes from like these masters. Like it could be like Neil Gaiman talking about writing, different people talking about like films and cinema. Aaron Sorkin talking about like about writing dialogue. You know what I'm talking about. You've probably seen the commercials on YouTube and stuff like that. So once I finish the course that I'm doing here, when I hit Morocco or maybe before, I'm going to start taking a couple of those courses as well, those master classes that are out there. I'm going to do everything I can to study up on like perfect. I want to know as much about cinema and content creating and all that as I can. Ideally for me, eventually, I want to, wherever I'm at, I like to get to the point where I can teach a class, where I can do a cinema class, like usually on kind of like a horror exploitation, you know, like different aspects of cinema type of class. That's kind of what I would like to do. I'm not sure if that comes across here or not, but because I'm a Z grade goof guy, but that's kind of been a dream of mine. That, and I would have loved to be part of a film festival. I'd like to do something there, because I think that I think those opportunities are out there. There's a movie, documentary called Serialized Terror. I think it's called Serialized Terror. That has Kirle Jenis. Want to be associate lecturers. That's actually really. See, I would love to do something like that. I would love to do like. I know it's hard to believe, but I would love to do like a lecture on like on certain aspects of film. Film's my love. It's my great passion. If you watch this channel for any length of time, you know that. This just isn't a collection to show. I'm not one of the people that comes in and collects just to say, I got this movie or I got this movie. I love my films. And I just, I gush over them because I just love the way that, I love cinema. I love everything from film noir to some of the classics. I love Z-grade stuff. I really do love the Vinegar Syndrome style stuff. So the fact that I went on a podcast and became the Vinegar Syndrome guy, I'm very passionate over horror, actually. My favorite subgenre is probably the slasher film. My favorite genre, if I had to go genre, and I'm going to call it a genre, not a subgenre, I love giallo. I love Italian films in general, but giallo films really, Black Christmas is my favorite film. But giallo is what really made me kind of dive in as deep as I've gone into cinema. I love Italian filmmaking. There's just a difference. There's a neat little difference about it that I really love. Now that being said, I also feel very passionate about film noir, and it really depends on. Honestly, sometimes I think it's like flip a coin, and that day what I'm really into. I've got I love gangster films, pre-code cinema. I love pre-code cinema. I don't know if there's a one that I really don't like. I'm trying to think if there's any type of cinema that I actually am not a fan of. There's movies I'm not a fan of, but I don't think there's any like style of cinema that I actually don't enjoy. There's ones I enjoy more. There's stuff that I'm obviously more passionate about. I'm obviously going to talk to you in a stronger sense about giallo or film noir than I'm going to talk to you about maybe, you know, and this is a great film, by the way, and a great film series, Lord of the Rings, because my better half would be on here talking to you passionately about Lord of the Rings. She's a huge fan of the books and the films, and she knows way more about it than I would ever even like pretend to know. But I just happen to have like as well as a particular set of skills with particular genres. The Hammer, the William Castles, stuff like that. Musical. Actually, that's a good point. Actually, you made I kind of wanted to get into this, every once in a while, I'll talk to my kids. Big musicals. Actually, I really do love musicals. You have to remember that Ralph Bakshi Lord of the Rings is actually pretty cool. I wanted to act, guys. So, and I didn't want to act in films. I want to act on stage. So, to kind of put it in a simple way, and the model of a modern major general. Yes, I did plays. I did Gilbert and Sullivan. I did do Little Shop of Horrors. I've done all of those. I love musicals. I just, I don't get to talk about them on here as much, and I'll be honest with you. Usually that's because some of those style of films don't generate as much traction. That's the truth of the matter. I've got a lot of musicals here. Everything from from Rocky Horror to Shock Treatment to Busby Berkeley. Over the years, I've been in productions of parts of Penzance and Hair, and yeah, I've done a lot of musicals. I actually spoke to my kids today about Patter. I actually really liked Alice Sweet Alice. It's a great film, and it creeped me out. Riff Raff. Actually, I'll tell you about it in a second. I really like Forbidden Zone. That's actually underrated, Jesse, and not talked about enough. Actually, I got to get a copy of Forbidden Zone. I used to own that one. Don't I have it anymore? Because the edition I have is really horrible. But Arrow's got a good edition of it out. But anyway, I was asked about Alice Sweet Alice. Great film, otherwise known as Communion, otherwise known as Holy Terror. Dozen different names. One of the first things Brooke Shields ever acted in. Very creepy, kind of eerie and grimy at certain parts of it, but very cool. The mask scared the hell out of me. Loved Alice Sweet Alice. And again, when it comes to musicals, that's a thought on a future video. It's going to be something that's a part of another video, because if I come on here and I put the word "we're talking about musicals" as the title of any of my videos, I'm not gonna lie to you, it's not gonna get a lot of views. that's probably the truth. And I could put like Shock Treatment and Rocky Horror Picture Show on one in one hand, on the other one. I do collect VHS. I don't have, Eric has not as many VHS as I would like to have. But I did actually do a video on here where I do a video for Woman's Torment. That's a good one. It is sad. It's like, because there's Genetic Opera. There's another good one. But yeah, I do collect VHS. I do collect laser discs as well. Tell you what, I will do my alternate. I'll do like an alternate video, like alternate collection video here in the near future, where I'll show all my laser discs and all my VHS that I got. I did a video on Laserdiscs like earlier on, and I was really disappointed by the fact that a lot of people didn't watch the Laserdisc video. My feelings were kind of hurt, probably because it was a really big deal for me to find Laserdiscs. It's not something that I could find in my area. It was a really huge deal. So when I went to Halifax to visit my kids, and I found this store that had these Laserdiscs, and I picked up like this stack of Laserdiscs, right? I came back here. The first thing I wanted to do was to go on and talk to you guys here and show you something different and unique, and to talk about that genre. To talk about, not that genre, that's a different type of collection. And I was super excited about it, and I was like a kid. And I did the video, and a day went by, and then a day went by. Oh, lunch break, welcome back, dude. And then another day went by, and the Laserdisc one just didn't do a lot for me. I was bummed. Hey, Movie Madness, how's it going? You came in. You came in time. I gotta see if I can find it here. So yeah, so if there's anything that I was most disappointed about was my Laserdisc video. Oh yeah, Laserdiscs were definitely for the cinephile. The Roger Eberts of the world were the ones that would be grabbing Laserdisc. Roger Ebert had a Laserdisc like thing down in his studio. I'm just trying to find the Laserdisc one here to see if it actually garnered some box sets with maple syrup. By the way, mostly Criterion Disney. I need to get more. Got unfortunately, maybe I gave it the wrong title. 169 views. Not a lot of views for that one. The last flea market haul of 2018, which was actually a one done on wrestling, and that's something I'm excited about. Only got 199. I do talk about wrestling every once in a while. Where is my freaking Laserdisc video at? Maybe it's so bad I don't have it anymore. I'm actually on Blu-ray. Oh, 210 views now. Okay, so yeah, it's broken the 200 view mark. So always good. I actually have a Laserdisc player right down there, Murdersville, and it took me a long time to find it. And growing up, like watching like the movie shows and Roger Ebert and Gene Siskel and stuff like that, and seeing them when they'd go into their movie libraries that they would have downstairs, much like this actually, I would dream of like getting to that point of having a movie there. Maybe that's the genesis of it, of having my own movie library. And I would see like Roger Ebert, and he would show off his Laserdiscs, and he'd take them out, and he'd talk about how you could you would scan and stop in parts of the parts, and you could go frame by frame. Like the Laserdisc was definitely done for a cinephile type of audience. So there's still things out on Laserdisc that you can't get anywhere else. Like Scream, by the way, the uncut version of Scream, Laserdisc only. If you ever get the chance, Mark, I lucked into getting one for $20. Actually, Laserdisc player for $20. It is huge. Let me see. Let me see if I can show you. I haven't checked the climax of Blue Power. If it's good, if it's like Woman's Torment, I'll probably definitely love it, because I did love Woman's Torment. Tell you what. Let me show you my player, and I'll actually show you on my Laserdisc. So there you're seeing the other side. We're going to do a little going down here, so I'm going to have to actually go on the floor. So, all right. So, you can't see it very well, but this right here, that runs all along here, is my Pioneer Laserdisc player. Yet, unfortunately, I don't have enough light down here to actually show you guys. So I'll do this in the daytime sometime. Yep, I do have a classic GameCube. GameCube, Super SNES, and I also have a PS2 and what's over there? Yeah, I got a few of the systems. Anyway, Laserdisc. I'll tell you what, you don't mind staying here for a second? I'll just grab a couple of my Laserdiscs here, and I'll show you guys, for people that actually haven't seen or haven't seen my Laserdisc video or haven't seen Laserdisc before. I'll grab a couple. It's only going to take me a second. It's just in that room over there. Over there is my TV room. So I'll bring you guys in there one of these days. Every TV show that I've got collected is in its separate room with its own shelves and stuff like that. I've often wanted to do a video in there, and I do plan to do one there soon. It's just that I haven't got it straight away that I want to do it. I'll be right back. All right. Glad I didn't lose many of you guys there. And people said, so you guys asked about Laserdisc. So I thought I'd just bring up 4 or 5 of my favorite Laserdiscs that I got. Some of them are upstairs, so not every one of them is down here. But first, I'll show you one in its regular casing. So this is a Laserdisc. Now, dude, a lot of people, I got it myself. So this is Jack's Back. Of course, this came up on Screen Factory. It's actually a really good film. This is a video Laserdisc right here. This is, as you can see, it looks much like an album. What's really neat is you can actually have, get into it, and I'll open it up so you guys can actually see the Laserdisc. So this is a Paramount Laserdisc. Now, this is what a Laserdisc looks like. You can see it looks much like an album, and they were double-sided. So the early Laserdisc players, like the one I got right there, like, well, that's not an early one, but it's like still most Laserdisc players. Not a problem, dude. I aim to please. The video quality is better than VHS for sure. Much better than VHS. I would say not. Some people would say some of them are, they're kind of like DVD level or just a little bit better. It's kind of different. Yeah. DVD actually probably definitely killed the Laserdisc market. That's for sure. But if you're collecting films and you can do it, I do recommend collecting in the different formats. There's always stuff that came out on VHS or came out on Laserdisc that you just can't get anywhere else. I'll show you a couple other Laserdiscs just to give you an idea, like some different ones. This one here is what you call, like, remember those, like when you get like a VHS box and sometimes it will be cut down. That's the thing, and they're great for a display, even if you only got them for display like purposes. Remember when you see those cut down VHS boxes, like they have like a big case and they have like the thing cut around to make it look like this is the box type of thing. You'd see them in rental stores. And if you're old enough to remember that, then this is kind of like the Laserdisc version of that. Black Rain is like actually a really cool Michael Douglas film. I love the fact that it's like got this here, and the size prevents you from doing it. Yeah, the cut box, exactly. This is the Laserdisc version of the cut box, Eric. But I gotta say, really, I think this one might have 2 discs actually. I think Black Rain ran with 2 discs. I actually haven't watched this one on Laserdisc yet, so I'm just trying to see how it opens up. Yeah, it is. It does have 2 discs here. I actually really like that aspect of it. Now, these were the first ones to have like commentaries and stuff like that. So commentaries and all that started with Laserdisc. That's actually because Movie Mass Laserdiscs were extremely, I'm not sure about your area, but they're extremely hard to find in my area, and they were extremely expensive. So I just got a couple more, which I'll show you guys. Well, I got it more than a couple more, but I just got it. Dracula Dead and Loving It. I just thought it was this is the Laserdisc. As you can see, they can put a lot of information, a lot of writing on the back of a Laserdisc. Another Black Rain fan. And some great pictures. And the other format that I don't have any collected of yet, exactly, thanks Criterion, but I will, that I will grab one of as soon as I can find it, is the CED machine. Now, CED became before VHS, and I think it's capacitive electronic disc, if I remember correctly. 2 left to show, because I wanted to show you 2 Western ones that were super cool, and this will make you want to buy a Laserdisc player, just because it looks so awesome. This is the Laserdisc cover for Fistful of Dollars. I really love this. As you can see, they did letterbox stuff back in the day. VHS, and most VHS stuff was either like full screen or pan and scan. Got great taste in comedies. And last but definitely not least, and I had to show this one because I am a huge fan of this film, Peck and Pod Classic, and that is The Wild Bunch. Now, of course, this is the cover that most people remember from this, but kind of blown up in almost poster size, you know, kind of a semi-poster size format. Great movie. I actually think Laserdisc may be the only version that I've got the Wild Bunch in, which is a real shame because this is an amazing film. Another fan of Dead Loving It. Yeah, I gotta upgrade to this one. I gotta get Blu-ray this one. But I'm not a person that upgrades and gets rid of. I upgrade and I keep my other formats. I don't have Scream uncut. The uncut version of Scream, you're right, Eric, is only on Laserdisc. Actually, also, actually, I do have 8mm film. I've got 8mm and Super 8mm. I don't have any 16 right now, but I am collecting the 8mm. And where's it at? Hold on. I'm not gonna go. I just want to show you something. This is a Bell & Howell 8mm. This is a Bell & Howell Super 8mm auto load projector. And this is the classic Halliday 8mm M1000 projector. When I say collect genres and formats, I don't mess around. I have a bunch of 8mm and Super 8mm films in the other room. Everything from Asterix cartoons to some Disney to some Charlie Chaplin and some Three Stooges, stuff like that. One of the real cool things I find on a lot of those Arrow releases, oh, man, that is cool. My dad used to buy those. Is when they put 8mm editions of like horror films, like Incredible Melting Man, stuff like that. Can you imagine that there was a time, I see some Mel Brooks talk going on in the background there, that if you wanted to see like your film, like a really cool like horror film or something like that, you got your famous monsters film in a magazine, you saw pictures of it, and if you were lucky, you would get an 8-minute or 12-minute reel there of the film, some like really condensed version. Hey, Javed, you see some really condensed version of the film. Like now we got like movies, and they've got like commentaries and features, and like just amazing stuff. But back in the day, I mean, like they got like crappy, sometimes silent, sometimes not, sometimes just black and white, with a tiny screen, unless they could actually really get like a good projection screen. Like 8 and 10-minute cuts of movies. Like they'd like a movie like The Mummy, they'd see like pretty much it would be a highlight reel, is what we consider it now, kind of like a clip show, a highlight reel. But that's what they'd get. Like there wouldn't be anything like watching an hour or 2 hour long video. Well, you do actually have a way of playing it. Just make sure if you get an 8mm projector, one, check it out first. Also, what you want to make sure of, Horror Frankenstein, that's a really good one. is you want to make sure that the bulb works, for one, and two, that it's easy to find a replacement bulb. Replacement bulbs are the things, like the bulbs really, like, you know, you can fix the motor and stuff like that, but the bulb, you really got to have the bulb when it comes to these there. Sometimes you just, when you're watching the VHS, I got a VHS player right down there actually. It just is nice to watch it on a good old VHS. And sometimes you get like these like slasher cinema productions and stuff like that, and they're pretty much VHS like versions on a Blu-ray. You know exactly what I mean if you got anything like yeah, that's true. And you got to be really careful, because you can actually, you know, one of the things, the biggest things that I see is that people make the mistake of, oh, but I've also got like an 8mm film camera, by the way. You know, like one of those cameras, like you could let you hold your hand. I have one of those too. But how the good old days. There's still film projectors around, right? I mean, like a lot of it's done digitally now, but still, there's still film projectors, especially if you're going to go see a 70mm film. Aren't those done like projected on actual like good old school stuff? I know that like that's what like Tarantino and Christopher Nolan, like what they love. Hey Scalder, dude, welcome. We have had kind of almost like a free-for-all show tonight. We had like a kind of a quiz show at the beginning. Make sure you check that out. We talked about laser discs. I think a lot of people would say that they would prefer film shot on film to digital. Now, a lot of like newer filmmakers, like I do think that like there's a certain aspect of it that I film that I like to ultraviolet shutting down. Yeah, that's the thing, guys. That's what, see, I've had people come on and people talk to me, and I like on Facebook and like places like that, and say, you know, oh yeah, streaming, man, streaming's the way to go. You know, you never lose anything streaming. Here's my collection, and they'll pick up their phone or something like that. Like, that's not a collection, man. That's not a collection. It's a 7/8 looks so good on Blu-ray when they're done well. When they're definitely done well. Like I gotta agree. Like, look at Maniac and Zombie, which recently came out. You're not the only one, and yes, I did, and I've watched Love Letters a few times as well because of that. There's a certain aspect of film. There's a certain love for film, but as a content creator, the thought of the ability to pick up like my iPad or my phone and be able to like film like I'm doing right now, or like to say I wanted to film, I like the aspect of the freedom of that, but I much prefer, like if I'm watching, I prefer I prefer film to digital. But that's just me, right? Dude, I'm jealous. I want the new When a Stranger Calls. It looks so amazing. Second Sight put a great addition. Second bit, When a Stranger Calls, When a Stranger Calls Back. I actually kind of like the sequel a little bit more than the original film, but I do love them both. They changed the aspect ratio. A lot of times, a lot of this stuff, you know, you'd see it, and we wouldn't know the difference. But one thing you'd always know, like no matter, I have some people, I used to sell, like I mentioned before, I used to sell films back in the day, a long time ago. People would come back to me and say, there's something wrong with this movie. It's got black bars on the top and bottom of it. I think it's broken. I'm like, no, that's the right aspect ratio. When you go to theater, it's you know, what's happening is when you're not seeing it. No, it's not taking up the whole screen. Well, if you're not doing the whole screen, it's not right. I can't see it. You know, part of my picture's gone. Now, it drove me. But the worst thing ever is pan and scan. Pan and Scan. If any of you guys remember Pan and Scan, remember that? The most unnatural looking films ever were ones done in Pan and Scan. Because nothing looked right in Pan and Scans, but like it's almost like somebody was. It's horrible. That was your dad? That was a lot of people's dads, Rich. The picture's broken. But Pan and Scan was the worst. Yeah, Martin and Dawn of the Dead, guys. I'm so stoked for both of those, and Second Sight. I can't imagine a better company like just getting their hands on those and doing them. Like Second Sight's been doing a lot of really good stuff lately. I have very few of their releases, and it's a shame because I need it. Anamorphic widescreen. Yeah. I remember the what was it? What I hate now about the theater experience is that they'll do certain films, and Marvel is infamous for doing this. They'll do IMAX versions of films, which will have like 40% more of the screen. You can see 40% more of the screen with IMAX and stuff. Blade Runner 2049 did as well. But the problem with that is, name your rap band, is that if you're at a theater, like a smaller theater, they don't have IMAX screens. So you're getting gypped. You're not seeing the whole picture. And you should never not be seeing the whole picture of a film. When I saw Blade Runner 2049, the subtitles I couldn't read because that part of the screen was taken out. It wasn't until I got the 4K of it that I actually was able to read the subtitles that were in the film. So that's my... So if I do go to see a movie like this coming out nowadays, a lot of times I'll go to the drive-in because we do have a drive-in here in Sydney, like in Cape Breton. I just wish they'd show more older stuff. I did get to see the original Friday 13th there recently, and well, a while back, seems recent now, but the summer. And I also got to see the remake of Texas Chainsaw Massacre, which you guys know that I'm not a fan of. Like most people, like more people are a fan of the original, the Texas Chainsaw Massacre remake than I am. Like I'm in minority when it comes to like my thoughts on the remake. And I'm okay with being in the minority. And if everybody agreed on everything, it'd be really boring. So that's the truth of the matter. Anyway, this has been almost 120 minutes. I was going to watch a movie tonight. What time is it? Okay. Original. Always, dude. Always. Thank you guys so much for coming in tonight and joining me, especially when I really didn't know where this video was going to go. We got to almost 120 minutes long on this video, and we've been all over the place. I really hope you enjoyed it, and if you're watching this after the fact, I hope you enjoy it as well. Stir Echo is a good movie, and I have to say, the Noir Festival, I want to go to something like that. If you watch this after the fact, or if you're watching this and you're watching this taped, it's an experience to come in here live in the movie club. If you get the chance, make sure that you do that. Jesse was the boss at Guess the Movie this time around, and we will do Guess the Movie again. I actually really enjoyed that. So I'll expand it a bit more and put in more types. So maybe I'll do some like Anchor Bay and Blue Underground and that type of stuff. Make it kind of fun. And or maybe I'll do some categories as well. So we're going to get more Guess the Movie. Hey, Moods, dude. You're catching me as I'm going out, man. Moods 616. One of the legends here on YouTube with his collection and his videos. If you haven't checked him out, please make sure that you do so. And hello and good morning from Rune from Canada. You catch me at the end of the video. I really am sorry. I hope that you guys come back for my next one. Moods, I'll do like a special, like kind of super gory one just for you. I've been watching Moods for a long time. So, oh, are you serious? I gotta check that out. Me and Moods have a lot of similar tastes when it comes to a lot of films. Though I think he likes shark films, a few more shark films than I do, but in a lot of the like the super gore stuff. Definitely check out his channel. I will be seeing you guys very soon on here again. I'm going to try and do a video tomorrow. If I don't get one done tomorrow, then my next video is probably going to be either when I get my next package or, let me think. Maybe Monday. No, Monday. I'm not off on Monday. When's my next day off? Oh, my last day, actually. Probably going to be the 15th. So if you don't see a video before the 15th, which is next Thursday, which is next Friday, you'll see something around them. But anyway, be sure to check out some stuff. And if you haven't got it, pick up Lizard in a Woman's Skin from Mod Macabre. It is a great release. I am Aaron. Make sure you listen to the podcast, Just the Discs, with the episode, all the episodes. They're really good. But please make sure to listen to the one that me and Brian did on Vinegar Syndrome, and you'll see more of that. You'll hear more of that, hopefully in the near future. Thanks for watching, guys. Check out Cellulite. Check out Moods. You guys are awesome. Anybody here that has a channel, and Reddy was here before, and he has a cool channel here as well. If you got a channel, it's called Just the Discs. I actually put a link in my last video because I was asked about it. So basically pretty simple, and I just talk fast sometimes, so just J-O-S-T, the discs. So basically just the discs. So it's about it's about film, and I talk about and I did like Marathon Man. I do talk about 2 Vinegar Syndrome films, and I talk about Blood Harvest and Incubus, and me and Brian give our thoughts on both of those films. If you want to know my thoughts on Blood Harvest and Incubus, make sure to check it out. Have a great night, guys. I am Aaron. This is a movie library. You are the movie club. And as always, you keep making it awesome. See you next time. Right now, I think I'm